Well, hello art lovers. Here in this video of how did he, we are going to check one of the most famous composers of all times, an Austrian composer by the name of Johann Chrysostomus Wolfgangus Theophilus Mozart. But, well, people just know him by Mozart. He was born in Salzburg in the January 27th of 1756. He was the son of a kinda wealthy family, and some of his most famous works are Marriage of Figaro, Così fan tutte, and Jupiter Symphony. And he also composed more than 600 pieces. Yes, wow, 600 pieces just in a lifetime so short, because actually he died in the age of 35. So it's a miracle that he did that. He was one of the greatest composers of Western music, and unlike the others, he wrote all the musical genres of his own time. I insist, all the musical genres of his time. But there were also some flaws too. For example, his music was written to accommodate just the specific tastes of the particular audiences. For example, nowadays if you listen to one of his works, you say, wow, how could he do that in that age and in so many years ago? But in that time, it was just, well, it's another kind of music. So it just had some particular audiences, and it wasn't so famous among all the people, and that's a flaw for its own time. And he had some weird family members, I say, and I know you got to understand that by his name too. For example, there is one of those names in his family again. His mother's name was Anna Maria, and guess what? His sister was Maria Anna. And well, by these two names, there's no wonder why his name was Johann Chrysostomus Wolfgangus Theophilus Mozart. His mother was just a housewife, and his father Leopold was an architect and also a bookbinder. And he had a great value among the people in his own city, Salzburg. And his sister was also a musician. She also played piano like him. And well, nobody had his talent, so he was the favorite child of his parents. He was so genius in music, it's said by all the people knowing him. At the age of 3, he was starting to pick the chords in harpsichord, and that's amazing. I cannot do that. And in the age of 4, he started playing short pieces, and he had a very precise memory of the pitch. And at the age of 5, he wrote his first concerto. He was very famous in his own city, Salzburg. People would come to just see him playing music when his feet wouldn't even reach the floor. And at the age of 6, he got even more famous out of Salzburg. How? His father brought him to a musical tour out of Salzburg to Munich, Vienna, and he also started playing at the Bavarian court in Vienna. And it was at the age of 7 when his father brought him to a big tour to the musical centers of Western Europe like Munich, Frankfurt, Brussels, or Paris. And it was a very excellent improvement. And also it was in that age that he wrote his first song, Sonatas for the keyboard and violin. And it was in Paris when he wrote that song. Well, little Mozart was very happy. But maybe he wasn't so happy, because some people say his father was using him as a tool, bringing him here and there to play just music to entertain people and earn some money for himself. Well, I'm not in a place to judge. Anyway, in the age of 13, it was the time that he acquired considerable fluency of his time in musical language. He was a great idol for the people who played music or just loved to listen to music. Until here, he just used to went here and there, wandering around, entertaining people and earning some money for himself. Till at the age of 17, he had his first concerto that he was playing just his own songs in that, and it was in Vienna, the capital of Austria. And these works are very, very, very wonderful because I cannot do any of those. And here's my favorite part. It was at the age of 22 in 1778 that he met the young, beautiful Constance Weber. And in that moment, the love was striking like lightning into his heart. And it was at this moment when Mozart said, "Well, do you love in the first glance love?" Anyway, it wasn't like those romances movie you all used to watch. It ended very well. They married with each other, but actually with some disagreements of the girl's parents, but it's common. He was a very famous musical face in his own time. He is a very famous musical face in even this time. There are a lot of musicians and piano players who adore him a lot. And well, it was very unfortunate that he had a very short life. It was on the 5th of December in 1791, at the age of 35, that he died. What was the cause? Well, it wasn't so known in that time. He just got sick, started vomiting, got a very high fever, and his body, especially his fingers and hands, started to swallow. And well, that was an end to playing piano. Doctors used a lot of ways, like using bloodsuckers to decrease the swallowing, or using Spanish mosquito and mustard to make a cream on his body, but none worked. And it was in that time when Mozart said, "I can smell the death." And the students know he was really dying. So they went to bring a priest, but he hadn't played many songs for the church, so priest refused to come. They went for a doctor, but the doctor wasn't there. They searched around and found that the doctor was at the theater. They went to him, but the doctor didn't want to come because it was a bad reputation to have the most famous face dying under your hands. So he said, "I will come after the theater and the show." Well, the show ended, the doctor came, he did all he could do, but none worked, and Mozart died 2 hours later. When he died, the young Constance came to his bed so maybe she could get the disease and die with him too, but she couldn't. Anyway, it's a very good thing that we have antibiotics today so we can cure that disease. Please drop a like and say any advices you have in the comments. Whom should we go after in the next episode of How Did He?